Welcome fans of Fate Grand Order. I am Avon. This is FGO Tips, and today we're returning to the Kingdom of Candies for Talking Wands and Magical Girls. It's the Prisma Codes reinstall event. This is a rerun of the Prisma Codes event from way back in 2018. If you missed that, or just need a refresher, then stick around. In fact, even if you remember it perfectly, you might want to stick around anyway because there's a few changes this time around that might be interesting for you. So without further ado, let's get to it. The Prisma Codes reinstall event is set to run from Wednesday, January 20th until Tuesday, February 1st, giving us just under 2 weeks to get everything done. If you want to prepare for the event now, make sure you finish Fuyuki because that's the minimum requirement. If you want to do more, you can also start enhancing your female servants, especially Mosh, Ilya, Chloe, Maeve, Nursery Rhyme, Helena, Medialily, and Caster Shuten. We'll talk about why in a minute, but first I want to cover the part that's probably most exciting for anyone who missed this event the first time around. The free event servant, 4-star Chloe von Einsborn. It's always nice to pick up a gold servant without spending tickets or quartz, so don't miss out. During the event, she'll gain double experience, so try to take advantage of that if you're just getting her now or haven't quite maxed her level yet. Even if you picked up Chloe during the last event, you'll want to do it again, because this time around we get rare prisms for each copy after number 5. That means up to 5 rare prisms to buy handy stuff like the new Lantern of Chaldea items from Da Vinci. We'll go over the details of how to acquire all 5 copies of Chloe along with her ascension material throughout the video. Before we continue though, I have to talk about the other magical girls making appearances. The returning 5-star caster Ilyasviel von Einsborn is a limited servant that generally doesn't show up on banners outside of New Year's and anniversary events. If you haven't secured a caster with a strong single target noble phantasm yet, Ilya is one of the very few in the game that you might be interested in. To commemorate her return, we also get the chance to purchase a simple Spiritron dress for her from the event shop, Testament form. But wait, there's more! New for the rerun, Miu Edenfeld joins the roster. This magical girl is an arts-based 4-star caster with some interesting skills. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about her noble phantasm though. It looks a bit like Merlin with the party-wide buff, NP regen, health regen, and crit star generation. It's not as strong, but it's not bad for a 4-star servant. My problem is with this 3,000 points of damage to herself as a demerit. That is tough to work around, even with the HP regen and gut skill. Luckily, we get a trial quest to try her out ourselves and see how she works. Make sure you complete it for a free summon ticket. Along with the 2 magical girls, the banner will feature 5-star Maeve and the 4-stars Helena, Nursery Rhyme, and Medialily. The banner will also feature the craft essences we need to boost drops during the event, something that will make farming a lot easier. The 5-star Azure Magical Girl is a decent CE, which boosts your starting NP gauge and NP generation rate, in addition to boosting Lion Toy drops by 1 or 2 after maximum limit breakthrough. The 4-star Kill On Sight is a nice CE for arts-based servants and will boost Bushido Musashi drops by 1 or 2 after max limit break. And finally, the 3-star Zunga Zunga will boost pudding drops by 1 or 2. This CE will be available on the Friend Point banner as well. You'll even get a single copy from completing the first few main quests. Speaking of main quests, these are the one-time missions that are going to take you through the story of the event and help to unlock special world-end matches. These are raid-style fights against the various bosses of the event: Nursery Rhyme, Medialily, Helena, Maeve, and one more. Like raid battles from other events, these bosses will have 2 separate health bars. The first is for the fight itself, and the second, larger bar, is called the episode countdown. The episode countdown will decrease based on the damage you do in each fight. Each world end match will also feature a 15-turn limit and will not allow you to use command codes or saint courts to continue the fight if you fall. Even if the battle is too tough to finish, make sure you do as much damage as you can. Even if all of your servants are knocked out or you run out of turns, the damage you have dealt will still be removed from the episode countdown. After the episode countdown is reduced enough, the fights become a bit tougher as the enemies get stronger. You won't be able to continue the story until you reduce the episode countdown all the way to 0, but luckily we have some help. Just like the first Prisma Codes, certain servants will inflict bonus damage during the event. This time we even get a few new servants to help out. Chloe, Ilya, Miu, and Mosh will deal an additional 100% damage during the event. Maeve, Helena, Caster Shuten, Nursery Rhyme, and Medialily will do an additional 50% damage during the event. This time around, we even get a brand new bonus: extra bond points for these servants. Even if you're missing a lot of these servants, you can still get help during the world end battles because there's a few more craft essences we didn't talk about yet. Caliad Ruby is a nice bonus for Buster and NP damage rolled into a less expensive 4-star craft essence. During the event is when it really shines though. During world end matches only, this CE can boost attack damage by an extra 50% and Buster damage by another 50%. If you maximum limit break it, it jumps up to 100%. There is a catch though, this is a magical girl event after all. The world end bonus only applies if you equip the CE on a female servant. This also includes questionable options like Deon, Enkidu, Astolfo, and Shihuandi. As always, Orion is not included despite the appearance of Artemis. Hokusai, on the other hand, is okay, despite this being Katsushika Oi, not Hokusai. The rules of servant summoning are pretty flexible, I guess. Anyway, next up is Caliad Sapphire, basically the arts version of the Ruby we just looked at. Perfect for pairing up with Miyu if you summon her, or Chloe after enhancing her all the way. The first time this event ran, these were the only 2 CEs we had for raid battling, but this time we get a third option. Paradox Ace Killer adds Quick to our arsenal this time around. Unfortunately, none of our event bonus servants excel much at Quick, but don't let that stop you from trying out your favorite female Quick-based servants. It's only fair that they get a chance to shine also. Just like last time around, each world end boss will be weak against a specific card type. Last time it was just Arts and Buster, but this time, Quick joins the rotation. That means you'll want to use Quick cards and the Paradox Ace Killer against Helena, Arts cards and the Sapphire against Maeve and Media Lily, and finally Buster cards and the Ruby against Nursery Rhyme. In the end, there's also one more boss to handle, and then you'll receive Chloe as a permanent member of your team. I'm not about to spoil that fight though, so let's move on to something we are all familiar with. Farming. As with other events, there will be 3 types of currency to farm: lion toys, copies of Bushido Musashi, and pudding. We already talked about the banner CEs that will help with farming these drops, so don't forget to pick up a few if you can. Also, try to unlock the EX difficulty farming quests as soon as you can to make this easier. The shop is going to feature things like Ilya's Testament Form Spiritron dress, Meteor and Corona Fu cards, lots of Ascension and skill materials, embers, and even normal attack and HP Fu cards. If you want to clear the shop entirely, you'll need 4,050 lion toys, 3,650 Bushido Musashis, and 4,400 puddings. It's also going to be the place to buy the first copy of the Ruby, Sapphire, and Ace Killer CEs. If you want the other 4 copies though, you're going to have to start working on missions as well. These have shown up in other events in the past, and there are going to be a total of 100 of them. Many of them will happen naturally because they'll include things like clearing certain quests or dealing damage to certain bosses. Others require you to defeat certain numbers of certain types of enemies or defeat servants with specific traits. You can check on these at any time by clicking on the rewards button and looking at the mission rewards tab. There's even a mission for reaching Chloe's 3rd ascension, so make sure to save some Ember cards for her. As a reminder, she'll gain double experience during this event, so it shouldn't be too hard. Her ascension material, heart bracelets, come from mission rewards. You will also be rewarded with great stuff like Saint Quartz, tickets, ascension and skill materials, a crystallized lore, and yes, 4 more copies of the Ruby, Sapphire, and Ace Killer CEs. This is also the way to unlock the last 4 copies of Chloe and get her all the way to NP level 5. If you've done this before, then this is how you'll get those rare prisms also. Even after all of that, there are a couple of extra things going on during the event. A few bonus world end events that aren't required to clear the story, but they give you the chance to fight against some of the male servants who were feeling left out. Beware because they gain special buffs during these fights to make them a little more interesting. And new for this rerun, an extra difficult challenge quest against Miyu, Ilya, and Chloe. They will each have large break bars and break skills that trigger each time one is broken. This quest is meant for experienced masters with high-level teams and will award 1 crystallized lore if you manage to clear it. I haven't planned my team yet, but I'm looking forward to trying out a few options. Let me know who you are planning to bring in the comments, and let me know if you have any questions about this event. Good luck to everyone farming, clearing challenges, and especially anyone rolling on the banner. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.